everybody, welcome back to the channel. Ben here to talk about another webtoon. This time we're going to be talking about Teenage Mercenary, which is a pretty cool webtoon. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to check it out. It's pretty self-descriptive. It's about a teenage mercenary, literally, who comes back home after being perceived to die in a plane crash with the rest of his family. His sister survived, his grandpa survived because they weren't on that flight, and he spends most of the series trying to re-assimilate back into his life, but it seems he's a little bit more mysterious than he lets on, because not only is this guy a really good trained fighter, but he seems to be able to solve every horrible situation he's in pretty much single-handedly and very mysteriously. It's even believed at some point that maybe this teenage mercenary named Aijin isn't exactly who he says he is. That being said, I do think the strengths of this series so far is really the main cast. Getting into it, I think Aijin is a really good character. He's much in the same way that we talked about Omniscient Reader last week, how his character isn't really supposed to be that interesting. He's mostly partially static for the most part, at least so far. He has these glimpses of character development, but so far he's kind of like more or less just the same guy at the beginning than he is at chapter 30, which is the most recent chapter that I've been able to catch up to. I really enjoy the characters of the grandpa and as well the little sister. I think the little sister is absolutely adorable. I think she fits her role perfectly in this series because this webtoon really needed a character like her to want Aijin to protect, not in the sense of like a princess to protect, but like more of this familial bond where you want to see the two protect really each other in different ways. Aijin protects her in a physical sense from all the terrible things that seem to happen to her and their family, but as well, vice versa, she likes to let him flourish and grow and actually start to express himself as best as he can. I think a good example of this is an early on example where we see Aijin deal with a bunch of her bullies, and in turn, she starts to ask him about his life, and they start to share stuff and they get closer. I think a great conversation they have is if she has a boyfriend or not. I thought that was a really cute conversation between the two. It really showed the familial bond between the two, even though it's so weak at that point in the story. It's obviously starting to grow right there. I think that's really the biggest benefit of this series, is the interaction between these two characters. That being said, there are some things I don't really dig about this webtoon so far. It's not perfect. It's not a total slam dunk, at least this early in the series, as I thought Omniscient Reader was, or something like a Mom I'm Sorry was, or Sweet Home, or Bastard, or something like that. This obviously is a little imperfect right now because I think they're trying to get something rolling here, but it's just the side characters I'm not really interested in. Characters like Yang Chan and their group are just not as compelling as I think they granted should be, and I don't know the reason for that specifically yet. I suspect it has to do with the story they're trying to tell with these characters. Right now, I'm just not interested in what they're doing at all because they don't have a good story that they're telling with them. Not to say it's a bad story necessarily, but it's just not as good as it could be. I do like aspects about it though. I think the stuff where Yang Chan confronts his friends on how they bully everybody, and his friends actually take a moment to reconsider and reevaluate what they were doing to everyone, and actually reflecting on that and going, yeah, we messed up and we apologize for that. We actually like you and we want to be your friend. We didn't understand what we were doing there. And actually, I found that story super relatable because I had a group of those kinds of people in school that nobody liked because they would do that kind of thing to everybody. They thought they were getting along, buddy-buddy with everybody, but in reality, what they were doing is bullying everyone, but they were trying to be cool about it. So I like that these characters had that story. I think that is something that I thought was a nice payoff, at least for what I think the couple episodes we saw them in. So that was pretty cool. I will give them that. I like the cousins of Yona and Ji-Yai? I'm not sure how to pronounce this. Once again, I don't know any lick of Korean, so I apologize if I mispronounce something. And I want to say as well, it's hard to remember some of these characters' names because a lot of their names are very forgettable for some reason for me. Maybe that's, I don't know, just something else. I don't know, but I'm actually really invested in this series and I can't remember some of their names. So I don't know if that's good or bad, but take that with a grain of salt and take that as you will. That being said, the cousins of Yona Yona and Jihai are great. I love Ji very much. Jihai, I love her so much. I call her the booby lady because she's the well, they're both the booby ladies, but one of them, I think, like, wait, is one of them 19? I don't remember her age, but anyways, I love these two characters. I love them both to death. I act legitimately, not just because they're hot ladies. No. No, these characters are actually really good. They add a lot of genuine mystery and intrigue to the series. Well, they add more to it because they're trying to find out what the mysterious person in this series is, which is Aijin. Jihai is like, which is the evil cousin. I call her the evil booby lady. She is trying to figure out who Aijin is. She's trying to go around at every point trying to get some information on this guy, and everyone around her is like, yo, we're not gonna search up this guy's records, we can't help you. And you're like, what? Who is this guy? When she tries to search up his records, at every turn she is denied. Now, actually, I think it's really cool what they're doing with her, because they're introducing her as kind of this almost middle ground antagonist, where I don't think she's an antagonist at all. I actually think a lot of what she believes in is very practical and actually makes a lot of sense. It's just, I think right now, it's rubbing up against the Yona and Aijin and her little sister. It's rubbing up against those characters and creating a little bit of friction. And I think it's causing this idea, this sense of that she's like an antagonist figure. She's not. And that's what I like about her character. She's actually a character. Eventually, I think we're just gonna be like, oh yeah, she's cool. She's awesome. And also, I think a lot of people will probably criticize her because her design is literally the same as Jihai, who basically looks, by the way, like Da Vinci from Fate Grand Order, but that's a whole another point there. But she literally just has shorter hair and is a little bit taller and a little bit bigger in terms of growth, more ways than one, than her actual cousin. But I think it's great. I actually think they use those two designs really well because I think they both stand apart from one another and they're both very striking in their own ways. I love Jihai. I think she's amazing. One of my favorite characters, absolutely for sure. I love it when Aijin becomes her bodyguard because that in itself creates a lot of more intrigue for me because now you're having this conflict between Aijin and Jihai, and Aijin works for the damn woman. That's awesome. I love the way they did that. That was great. I also like Ohamchan, the guy that worked with Aijin, his major. They call him Major Kong in the series. The guy who got Aijin back, the guy who was a mercenary along with Aijin. I like how he is actually kind of engaged to Jihai, and we learned a little bit about those two relationships. They both are very much workaholics, and they've only seen each other, I'm not even joking, as of chapter 30, 14 times. Now, I'm just saying, I get it if you're a workaholic. I'm a YouTuber. I do 2 channels, technically like 4 or 5, like semi-regularly. I understand what it's like to be a workaholic and to be away from the ones you love. I get it. That being said, Jihai, oh boy, I believe it'd work early for her. I'm just saying. Not only that, she's super successful too. Like, yeah, that's a no-brainer on my part. But I like him being her fiance because it's another nice twist where she also is, well, she doesn't know that this guy actually knows Aijin, but she's like, hey, I need you to look into this guy's records. And he's like, I'm sorry. That is one thing I cannot do. And you could hear him say in his head, Aijin, you have no idea what I just did for you and how much I care for you right now. Which I agree. It's like, you know, you want to do things for the woman you love, right? He can't do it. And now this is only going to lead to more questions because, like, why won't he search that up? It's so interesting. And this is where I think the romance is coming in. I thought for a moment they would do this twist where Aijin wasn't the little sister's brother, which I forget her name. I really shouldn't. She is so adorable. There's this one chapter in this one episode where she wears an apron with a strawberry on it, and it was the cutest. But anyways, I thought for a moment they would do a twist where the sister and the brother are not actually sisters and brothers and there'd be a romance, but it's not. I actually think the romance is going to be between Yona and Aijin, which I don't know how to feel about, admittedly, because visually speaking, I don't know if I can see those two together, but character-wise, I can see it. And the way the story is going, I can absolutely see that this is going places, and I enjoy every bit of where it's going. So essentially, what's happened so far in the story is that Aijin's commander died, and it turns out that his commander or his superior official that died is actually the father of Yona, and that's awesome because he gives Aijin the final mission, which is to go and deliver his final words to his daughter, which is Yona. And it turns out the idea of this mission wasn't really for his daughter, well it was, but as well to get Aijin away from the battlefield. That was just the great way they told that. I love that, and I think that so far that covers pretty much all of the series, all 30 chapters. I recommend this. This is pretty good. It's got a lot of promise. There's some things where it hits and it misses, but I'm really interested in the way this series is progressing in terms of the mystery around Aijin, the romance around hopefully Yona and Aijin, and as well Jihai, because she's amazing. I love her to death. I would appreciate if she was my fiance, just saying. And yeah, just pretty much everything about this series is either, you know, it's okay or it's good. It's pretty good so far, and I think I can do a soft recommendation on this. I'm not as confident as I am with Omniscient Reader, where I can see that it's going to be pretty good throughout the whole thing. Well, Teenage Mercenary, on the other hand, may not. I don't know. I'm really confident, and I think it will, but you never know. It's not. I don't think it's going to be a perfect series by any stretch of the imagination, but I think it's one that you should all check out, especially if you enjoy my recent videos on Omniscient Reader or whatever. I think you guys will really enjoy this one. That being said, recommend some webtoons for me to read down in the comments below, and if I get to them, I'll make a video about them. If I don't, I'll cry. I don't know why I would cry. It's supposed to be you that's crying. What's going on here? Answer me, damn it. Anyways, thanks for watching the video. If you haven't already, please subscribe and ring the bell, like the video, and drop a comment down below. What do you think about the sky? There you go. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you later. Bye-bye.